Hey guys, it's Sarah, and today I'm going to be doing my October TBR. I have a huge pile of books that I want to read this month, and I don't know if I'll be able to get to all of them, but I hope so. I am not doing a spooky themed TBR just because I just can't bring myself to put that many spooky books in my TBR for this month, but I'm definitely going to be reading books that give me the fall feel and the ones that I will love reading during fall, and yeah. So that's basically all I'm starting out with. I also have a few buddy reads going on this month, so I will show you those books first, and yeah, let's just get started. Okay, the first book that I am planning on reading this month is Red Seas Under Red Skies by Scott Lynch. This is the second book in the Gentleman Bastard series, and this story follows Locke Lamora, which is the first book, Lives of Locke Lamora, and his band of thieves and their adventures in the town of Camor. And this one does not take place in that same setting, but it's definitely really good. I'm reading it with Chris and Lindsay and Sana, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm about chapter 4, which is 160 pages in, and I'm really loving it. Yeah, Scott Lynch he writes to my heart. He's just an awesome writer, so if you have a chance to pick up Lives of Locke Lamora, do that, because it's awesome. It is, seriously, I'm not kidding, Lives of Locke Lamora is the best book ever. Pick it up. I can't say it enough. It is so good. Okay. The next book that I plan on reading this month is Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. I'll be reading this with Chris and Lindsay. Chris is from the Reading Roads, Lindsay from Lindsay Ray, and they'll be linked down below, obviously, because they're reading Red Seas Under Red Skies with me. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, we'll be reading this book in the beginning of October, so I'm going to be starting it pretty soon, and I'm really super excited to read it. It is a story following two sisters, two princesses, and they live in this world where color is the magic system. So you can touch magic or something, breathe it in or something, and you can control magic. I don't know all about it, and I know it's not Brandon Sanderson's most highly rated book out there, but I've definitely heard good things, and it's definitely a part of the Cosmere, I'm pretty sure, so I'm excited to read it nonetheless, and Brandon Sanderson is just awesome. So yeah, I am excited to read it, and whoa, phone. I'm excited to get to it and cannot wait to read it with my besties, my fantasy besties. The next book that I plan on reading this month is The Captain's Fury by Jim Butcher. This is book 4. Wow, that's beautiful. This is book 4 of the Codex Alera series, and me and Lindsay and I are planning on reading this whole series together, and so we want to finish the series as quick as possible. So this is the next one that we have. This is like really floppy compared to the other ones. That's encouraging. But yeah, we're enjoying this story, I guess you could say. Not loving it, not totally hating it, but definitely not our favorites, so we want to continue on and finish this series up, so this will be the next one that we pick up for buddy reading. And the last book that I'll be buddy reading this month is also going to be buddy reading with Lindsay, and that is Before They Are Hanged by Joe Abercrombie. This is book 2 in the First Law trilogy, and I'm so excited to get to this. I'll have my review of the first book in the series, which is called The Blade Itself, and I'll link that down below, but this book I'm like really excited for. I really enjoyed the first book, and I cannot wait to read the next one, and this cover is just freaking amazing. It is so gorgeous. I just cannot wait. Do you see the shimmer? Do you see the shimmer? I cannot wait to read it. Okay, so those are all the books that I'll be buddy reading this month. Oh. Yeah, what? Those are all the books I'll be buddy reading this month, and I'm really excited to get to them. Let's get to my TBR. I do read more than one book at a time, so if I'm buddy reading, I usually read another book, so my TBR pile might seem super duper large, which is kind of large, but I also will have time to read in between buddy reading as well as while I'm buddy reading. So let's just get to those books. The first one on my list is Outlander, and I'm actually listening to the audiobook of this, so I wanted to put it in my TBR because I would like to finish it this month if I can. I don't know if I'll be able to, but if I could, I really want to, and I'm at chapter 2, so I'm not that far into it at all. 40 pages into it, so I'm not very far into it, but so far I'm really enjoying it. It's really interesting, and I cannot wait to get more into this world and see what it's all about, so yes. The next book that I have is my TBR pick of the month, and that is Forgiving Lies by Molly McAdams. I'm totally not in the mood for this, but I'm gonna read it anyway because it's my TBR pick, and Molly McAdams books are a love-hate relationship with me. I usually hate them while I'm reading them, appreciate them after I'm done reading them, so we'll see where this one falls, which is probably going to be even further down because it's about a undercover cop and a girl, and they live next door to each other, and then they kind of get together, and I don't know, there's romance involved, and yeah, I don't know, I'm nervous about it. I'm nervous, I'm not gonna lie, I'm nervous. So yeah, okay, that's this one. And the next one is Lindsay's pick of the month, and she loves thrillers, right? And I've never read a thriller, so she picked out for me to read this month Angels and Demons by Dan Brown, and I'm super excited to get to this. I've seen the movie, loved the movie, and I cannot wait to read the book. I've heard it's 10 times better. I did get the movie cover because it's gorgeous, but yeah, I'll be reading this early in the month as well, so, and I feel like this is a very fall read. I don't know, to me it reminds me of fall, but I could be wrong, whatever. The next one that I have on here is Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. I have not read this yet, and I need to get onto it because there is a lot of Cosmere that's going on in this book, and I need to know the things that happen in the Cosmere. So I plan on reading this this month, and hopefully I can enjoy it and love it. Ooh, there's stuff in the back. Ooh, cool symbols. This story is about a city called Elantris, and the magic system in this city is like, has to do with writing things. I don't know. I don't know a lot about it, and I'm kind of going into it with blind faith, but I'm really interested to see how it is. I'm really excited to see how the story plays out and what it involves and all of those things. So I'm excited to read this one. Next on my list, I have Succubus Blues by Rochelle Mead. This is a paranormal urban fantasy romance story, heavy on the romance, and Rochelle Mead wrote the Vampire Academy series as well as the Bloodline series, and this series gets recommended to me a lot, and I want to try it out. I'm also planning on doing some sort of recommendations video for paranormal romance, so I want to read a lot more paranormal romance. And that way I have a lot more to recommend. So this is going on my list for this month. Also, it's about a succubus, obviously. So succubus remind me of Halloween a little bit because supernatural. So succubus remind me of Halloween a little bit. Also, who has watched The Lost Girl? Please raise your hand if you've watched the TV show Lost Girl, because I have a feeling this story is going to be very similar to that. And I was obsessed with that show for a little bit. Then it got a little bit out of reach for me, but it's on the Sci-Fi Channel. It's also on Netflix, so if you've not watched it, it's really good. I would classify it as a paranormal urban fantasy romance. It's really cool, and I really enjoyed it when I watched it. But this one, I think, will be very similar to that, so I'm excited to get onto this. The next one that I have is Vain by Fisher Amelie. This is a book that I bought a while ago, and I've tried picking it up a couple of times, but I've just not been in the mood for it. It's a very interesting read. It's about Sophie Price, which we have the same last name, so that's pretty cool. And she is very vain, basically. She's just vain, and she thinks the world revolves around her, and she thinks she is the most amazing thing ever to hit the universe. And it's not that typical way where the bad, mean girls are actually good on the inside, they just don't know how to express it. No, she really is a bad girl, she's a really mean girl, and she really thinks she's vain. And her parents, she gets in trouble or something like that, and she has to go to Africa for some sort of like intervention type of thing where she's gonna go help these African villages and stuff like that, and she finds a guy there and something along those lines. I just was not interested in picking this up, but I love Fisher Amelie's works that I've read so far, and so I want to read more of her books, and I'm starting off with this one because I have the second one in the series, which is called Greed, and I think there's another one coming out soon which is called something Fury. I think it's called Fury, and I think it's already out actually, but I plan on picking this up and reading it this month. Another very fall read I'm going to be reading this month that just reminds me of fall. I think mostly because I discovered BookTube in the fall, so it just reminds me of fall. It just reminds me of the fall, and that is Daughter Smoke a Bone by Laini Taylor. This book is about angels and demons, I'm pretty sure, some sort of thing like that. I'm just really excited for this. I've heard mixed things. It's making me really weary. I've had this book for about a year now, and I've not picked it up because I've heard so many mixed emotions about it, and I heard somewhere in the middle of the story something happens and people hate it, and like they dislike the story from that point on. But Lindsay was telling me I might enjoy that part because she thought it was weird, but then she ended up enjoying it. So I definitely want to pick this up, and if I enjoy the series, then I'm going to absolutely continue with it, but I'm definitely excited for it. And the last book that I have for my TBR, which is probably going to be the first book that I read this month because I'm so excited for it and I cannot wait to read it, and that is Curse of the Wendigo by Rick Yancey. This is the second book in the Monstermologist series, and you guys, I loved the Monstermologist to death. I think I made a discussion video on it when I used to make those discussion videos that were awful, and I'll link that down below if you want to see it, but it's probably really awful. This is about, basically the story follows Will Henry, and he is an orphan, and he lives with this guy called Dr. something, what is his name? Dr. Warthrope, and Dr. Warthrope is a monstermologist, so basically he's a scientist of monsters, and his story is kind of like a historical fiction-esque thing where all of these books are basically journals or stories told in a journal-like form, and you find out in the first one that in our world all the things that take place in the story is not real, but for some reason it checks out and it could be slightly real, so I don't know. I'm really curious to pick up with the series. There are 4 books in this series and this is the second one, and I would love to read more this month if I can, but if not, I'm definitely going to pick up this one because I want to read them in the fall/Halloween time because they are creepy and everyone knows what a Wendigo is, right? A Wendigo is pretty scary. You've seen that Supernatural episode, haven't you? I bet you have. I bet you haven't. Really so curious to see how Rick Yancey does this. I think Rick Yancey is an amazing writer. He is just such a beautiful writer, and I cannot wait to get on to this book. I told you that was going to be a big TBR. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are on these books, if you've read them, if you loved them, if you plan on picking them up. Just let me know down below, and I will be checking out for those. Also, if you have done a TBR video, let me know that down below, but I'm super excited about my TBR, and I hope your guys' October TBR are really spooky and fun, and I love October, so, and I love the fall. Alright, that's all I have for this video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great reading month, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!